after you.
Oh, the rabid grannies were trying to, like, set me up so they could, like...
There's a band called Rabid Granny.
Oh, seriously, yeah.
Rabid Granny from an old metal band.
No, George was so bad, I thought about calling Charles Johnson to come babysit me.
There's a horror movie called Rabid Granny, too.
Yeah. But I don't really get along with Charles Johnson that much anyway, so why I should have to get one babysitter to protect me against some other one, it's just like, it gets overly too confusing to have to, like, not ever have any peace and quiet or headspace. And...
I hear you.
Yeah...
Oh, yeah. But, yeah. It's not like that Nick Fish thing is like a major thing, but I'm just kind of like in the middle of that prank still, you know?
Yeah.
It's like Alan Abel, he was never shy about doing an interview later or whatever, but he wouldn't want to like just give away his stuff in the middle or whatever as much, you know?
Right.
Like it would kind of like, I think the fact that Project Censored retweeted my thing, that really means that I'm on to something more, you know? And I think that Nick Fish and those guys are aware of that tweet and Project Censored and all that stuff, you know?
Are you trying to Project Censor me?
Because Project Censored retweeted my tweet. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty epic right there. That's an accomplishment for Keith Davis.
Oh, absolutely, and I totally agree with that.
That's fucking rad, and Project Censored, you know, they're like these Stanford media people, and they retweeted that shit without even fucking looking to see that was a fake fucking account.
You know what I found, Keith, about...
So I actually pulled a prank off on one of the top organizations that's known for like digging through media fucking bullshit, but they didn't even go through and check the validity of the account that they retweeted. They got all reactionary.
Wow.
And let their emotions play with them. Basically is what happened, you know?
Wow.
When I was like, Project Censored, shut the fuck up, you know?
Yeah.
Get a fucking expensive water filter like me or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
They were like, oh, that arrogant prick or whatever, and basically, is probably how they looked at it, you know?
Please be advised, this phone call may be recorded for quality assurance.
Oh, shit.
For Mary Yang, please press 1.
That's pretty good, Mary. Well, whatever, you know, just don't release it now. I don't even care, you know?
I gotta go brush my teeth, possibly puke, and then eat something. Maybe in some reverse order. Eat something, then puke, then brush my teeth.
I've been, like, following Project Censored. I have, like, Project Censored stuff from back when, like, I used to subscribe to Project Censored newsletter in the early 90s, you know? Like, way pre-internet shit, you know?
Okay.
So, I just think it's kind of classic that it all went down like that, you know?
Yeah. So the day that George got arrested, I went over there and like checked in on Chris, the weird cancer boy who was hitting on me last summer. And he looked like he saw a ghost or something, and I don't think he could process it at all. And he was kind of, but his girlfriend, who's my new like best lady friend, she's named Carrie. She gave him his the copy of my dad's poems, because I wanted him to look at this one poem in it, the one about John F. Kennedy, and because he's a poli-sci nerd, and he was all looking like he saw a ghost, and I was fine with that, but I don't know what kind of psychic pain he's in with his Scorpio or how that's going. And I don't know if I'm like, it's almost more like he's one of those intellectual guys. I like him as an intellectual, not as a necessarily I want to sleep with you kind of guy. So it's hard for me to process those feelings of being denied my friendship with him due to the fact that his Scorpio has him on like a monopoly, or he's been taken off the market of friendship. But I guess that's a pretty typical thing, is people settle down and you never see them again, and then that's that, and they're happy ever after. But he frankly looks miserable, and I'm like, I pretty much know some of the stuff she's done. Like but she's really beautiful and she's a poet, so I'm like, well, maybe they're really into each other, and that's cool. But
Oh yeah.
it's almost like I needed to have.
Yeah, that whole Alan Abel stuff, you definitely need to go check that out. He's like way better than.
How about this? I just had a stroke of brilliance. You've given me an idea, Keith. How about everybody that wants me to delete everything off the internet will now be known as Project Censored, and I shall so commit a copyright infringement against Project Censored by borrowing their name and mass proliferating censorship for them, because I'm like a spam bot with a vehicle that just, if I add Project Censored to all, like if, for instance, if I Google Nick Mayberry, Mary Ang 1, I'm going to get like probably 200 movies. And I'll just go Project Censored, Project Censored, Project Censored, Project Censored at the Viper Room, Project Censored at St. Felix on Cahuenga, Project Censored, Cinespace. And basically, at that point, I'm going to convert the artistic identity of my ex-friends into a spam bot of pop music against censorship. And they can just deal with that because fuck them, basically, for trying to censor me. Including Lisa Haynes.
You could get like cheesy fucking music, you know, like even like Casio keyboard shit, and then just like edit in like Charlie Hale's voice and Ted Wheeler, like when they're yelling at people and other stuff.
Well, one time I got a copyright violation on a protest where they started playing a Beyonce song on the sound system. And so therefore the whole video was going to be censored. So then guess what I copied in? The French composer Eric Satie. So I'm like, fine, you want to censor pop music, YouTube, and copyright and stupid record companies? That'll be fine, because now we're going to listen to classical music and experience the soft, poetic, impressionistic 1890s French composer who's fallen out of copyright soundtracking of our little protest. So to me, like, that was one way I survived their censorship.
You don't know what my thoughts are on all this, like, building of affordable housing and all that other stuff? Instead of saying we need to build more housing units and affordable housing, which plays into the whole game of development and gentrification and enriches the yuppie business class, maybe we should talk about the strategy of making yuppies uncomfortable and chasing them out of our bioregion. They're like economic refugees of a different sort that are like the ones that price you out of your own city.
Economic refugees pricing you out of your own city?
That's what the yuppies are, basically, you know, they're like, because they're fleeing, like, from New York or wherever.
I'm fleeing from Portland. I'm a yuppie from Portland. Am I a yuppie yet? Yeah, I feel...
$50 will go so much more, and we could actually buy a house there. Whatever, you know, it's like... So they're like economic refugees. It's like they're like the anti-economic refugees that come to your city and turn all the people that are already here into economic refugees.
Yeah, you know what I need? And I need like someone smart to tell me this. I bet my friend Dustin would know. I need to know if there's a mass way I can mass edit my YouTube channel with almost like a program that would say for every time you see this name, put project censored or some suitable, you know, space holder, because hand deleting everyone's name and replacing them with project censored is just going to actually take forever. And like they act like I also have forever, because the meticulous stuff I did to even record them to begin with, it's not like it's easy to undo that. It took a lot of time, and most of it, I mean, it was unpaid. Sometimes I got to go into shows free and stuff, but that's... Well. You've given me some ideas, Keith, and I think I changed it to Project Censored 1 through 7, but I'm going to have so much Project Censored on my spam bot, but I'll probably get bored of this task and abandon it at any moment and go eat something.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. I think I found the
Don't forget to visit Jake the alligator man when you're on the coast, you know?
Yeah, no, I went to the place where they do that. It doesn't quite interest me, but the whole thing of Long Beach upsets me because the whole place reminds me of Ben, and Astoria too actually reminds me of Ben. I'm so glad to be out of there. I called George Ben Light. He's like Ben Light, L-I-T-E, like Bud Light, and that's itself pretty scary.
I hear you.
So what it does, too, by deleting credits, this is almost like the reverse of what an artist wants to do, but he's a Scorpio, right? So he's actually secretive in his nature. But by deleting his name out of his musical credits, it actually reverts more credit to me and or other people and or some abstract entity. It's like giving someone a new band name, which I discovered I had some old musical footage from like a jam session that I had recorded under some really weird name, and I was like, whoa, I can't believe I found this, because I've been wondering where I put that for the longest time. And then basically this one, for instance, I'm not taking out Jeremiah's name, so therefore Jeremiah gets credit, and Nick gets to be more, I guess maybe that's his own marketing strategy, is to be less proliferative, which I so spam botted for that guy. If anything, he should be so kissing my feet. But I think his main problem is he wants a grand stadium stage, kind of like, you know, like an arena, like U2. And if he's not at that level, he's down on himself for not being rich and famous enough. And I'm like, dude, you're really talented. Like, you don't have anything to worry about. You're going to be fine. But it's kind of like his ego strength. He's trying to use me to buttress his ego, which that's all I ever was. So it's like, oh, is this going to help your ego or not? Or what win does your ego currently have that's going to make you feel important? Is, oh, hey, record my show. No, delete my show. No, delete the third video from my show. No, change my name, anonymize it, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Like, I did that on the fly when I was going to paralegal school as a hobby, not because I have unlimited full time to be your ego puppet, basically.
I hear you.
And it was fun, but I'm just basically perfectly all fine with. And last night I basically heard from my guy friend Matty O'Connor, who used to run the rehearsal space down there, that, oh, Nick is so mad at you. Nick will never talk to you again because of whatever you did on the internet. And I'm like, yeah, so what? I'm like mildly associated with some radical political ideology. That doesn't mean you need to blacklist me from your like artistic mainframe. But he basically is pretty much a middle-of-the-road conservative bourgeois immigrant from Australia on a sensitive visa, where I think, if anything, he's paranoid that the U.S. state might cancel his visa with the State Department because he knows some dangerous person like Mary Ang. And I'm like, come on, give me a break. Yeah, right. I offered this guy a paper marriage if he needed it.
Oh my god.
Well, it wouldn't even be paper to me because I like him, but...
You'd be like, oh hell no, I'm not getting a divorce now.
No, he's like, come back when you're a lawyer, Mary, and we can be rich. And I'm like, oh yeah, so you won't take me till I have a law degree and like a whole bunch of millions stashed away, but in the meantime you get to fool around. Okay, good to know. Yeah, right, like I'll ever be there. He talk about a gold digger. That man's the biggest gold digger I ever saw. He used to live in Bel Air. He had the richest girlfriend ever. She was like Israeli and Latina. She's so hot. She's so mean too.
Oh yeah, the way people like him.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking around. But not really.
What? The way people like him? How what? Gold diggers?
Oh yeah. They're mean to him too. That's like.
Yeah. Right? Yeah, he has to pay his tax. He's like,
that's like having a dominatrix or whatever. They're like total gold diggers and they're mean to you. And it's like.
right.
That's just like, oh, it's cheaper than hiring a fucking full-time fucking dominatrix to make me sit on my camp mat. So get this fucking gold digger and she can spend all my money and tell me what to fucking do. And then I might be able to save a little money.
Yeah.
Oh shit. No, I think like I think I could actually be a comedian down the road.
Yeah, no joke. No joke. If you build yourself like that, you probably have like 10 times more freedom of speech than you have now.
And actually, like people like get more influence when it's delivered in a comical way, or but I've written down like different shit like that forever. Like I'm thinking of doing something actually that's gonna be like kind of like an anarchist version of like Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Can you know what I think?
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm thinking of doing something like an anarchist version of
I'm thinking.
Saturday Night Live, like anti-authoritarian, but I got some different ideas, like making this like puppets that would be like a life-size puppet character, you know, like make it out of like just all kinds of different mixed material, makeup, but have like some old dude that's like just a total cop sucker bootlicker that's just like, oh, yeah, these fucking punk ass kids running around and, you know, just like, and just go out there and like go shake hands of cops and stuff and be like, yeah, you're doing a fine job kicking these fucking leftist punk asses and, you know, you got your helicopter license yet? Well, you better get one because the Pinochet days are coming back here in a while.
Right.
Just shit like that, you know, just like more a higher level of trolling and stuff, you know.
I'm wondering if I should do more like